What's going on, guys? Matthew back again. This time for another movie review. Today I'm reviewing Smile 2. Let's get into it. This movie is written and directed by Parker Finn. It stars Naomi Scott as Sky Riley, and as a supporting character, it has Ray Nicholson, who is Jack Nicholson's son, as her boyfriend Paul Hudson. This movie kind of begins where the last one left off, with the police officer now having the curse of the demon. He decides that he's going to pass it on to someone that he believes to be deserving. So he goes to basically what is a drug house and murders a criminal in front of another criminal. Unfortunately, there's a shootout, and he ends up shooting the witness who was supposed to obtain the curse. But little did he know that there was a drug dealer in the same house who witnessed the murder, who now has the curse. The cop has to apologize before the goons of the drug dealer show up, and he has to go on a run. And then this sequence is very well shot, and that's kind of how the rest of the movie goes. It's going to be very high on cinematography. I really love the way the camera was used in this movie. But sticking to the plot, he runs, he escapes the house in a one shot, and ends up out of nowhere getting hit by a truck. The blood from his carcass makes us smile, and then we move into the plot of the movie, which is Sky Riley, who is a famous singer, kind of like, I guess, what are the Disney singers? I guess kind of like a Hannah Montana kind of thing. She has recently been in a car accident that killed her boyfriend, and it left her with a very bad scar on her stomach that has her very self-conscious. She's been trying to get off drugs, but unfortunately, because of the surgery, she has serious back pain. So she needs drugs to keep that pain at bay. No one will give her drugs because of her past addiction. So she has to go to a drug dealer, and it's the same drug dealer who the curse was accidentally passed to. She gets there, and as you've seen in the trailer, he starts freaking out. He kills himself in front of her, and now she has the curse. And if you've seen the first movie, that's basically what this one is about. Is someone has this terrible curse. They see creepy people smiling at them. They see creepy things when they're by themselves. But unlike the first one, this one does not have as much of a plot. This one's really centered on a character and what her past trauma is and how it relates to what she's going through now. I would argue that this movie is more of a character study than it is a plot like the first one. The first one, you had what felt like to be a first, second, and third act where the characters are figuring out and they're trying to solve it. They get close, but ultimately fail in the end because it's a horror movie, and horror movies, as we know, are normally tragedies anyway. But this one does not follow that. It almost like it tries to, but then it jerks away from it and remains a character study. She does at one point come across someone who has an understanding of this curse, but that plot line really doesn't end up going anywhere. Um, so the plot, I'm gonna have to give a 7 for this one. I'm not gonna give any spoilers in this review, but I did not feel like the third act was really there. I thought it was kind of absent. There's what you believe to be a third act, but then it turns out to not necessarily be that, which is good or bad depending on how you want the construction of a movie to be. For me, I didn't like that very much, but it does go in the favor of the villain, which in movies like this are supposed to be pretty powerful and daunting. So the plot I'm going to give a 7. Moving on to the writing, I had no issues with the writing actually. Uh, Everything was fine in that department. I have to give that department a 10 for the writing. I didn't have any issues with that. And moving on to the cinematography, which for me it was my favorite thing about this movie. The mentioning the wonder at the beginning, even the shots of the city, which are upside down. There's one shot after Sky Riley has gotten the curse where it's upside down outside of her apartment in this massive building, and I guess it was New York. It's upside down and it moves towards the building. It goes through the window into her apartment to her door, which opens and she enters. I thought the shot was brilliant. There's a lot of shots like that with a lot of crane work, a lot of flipping the camera upside down and moving it. And I thought that some people would say, oh, that's not necessary. But to me, I thought it really complemented what Sky Riley is going through. Her world is literally upside down. Everything's going wrong. Lost her boyfriend. She's coming off drugs, and now she has a demon on her shoulder. Very tricky situation for her. Sky Riley, but I thought the cinematography was excellent in this movie, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Moving on to the acting, I'm actually going to change that. I had it at a 10, but after thinking about it, I did not like the performance. I might change to an 8. I'm not sure, but I'll let you know after I talk about it. But the performance of Sky Riley's friend, the one that she has come to her apartment. Now, given the third act issue that I mentioned earlier, it's not really an issue, but given what happens in the third act, you could maybe make a case as to why that actress is portraying that character that way. Given that situation, I think I'm going to land on a 9 with the acting. I was going to go 8, but I think that her portrayal of that character may have a lot to do with what was revealed to be what was revealed to have been going on, at that time in the movie. So I'm gonna go with a 9 for the acting. And as far as the pace, if the movie flew by, it was 2 hours, but it felt like an hour and a half. It really flew by. It was over before I knew it, which really has a lot to do with the third act. You're in the third act, but you don't know you're in the third act. It's one of those movies you don't know you're at the ending of the movie until something happens and you know the credits are about to roll. I felt kind of shortchanged by that. I'm not gonna lie. I liked everything, acting, cinematography. I have to point out Naomi Scott is great as this character. She's really great in this role as Sky Riley, freaking out, getting mad at people, showing a lot of aggression, fear. That's a name I'm gonna remember just from having seen this movie. Um, I don't know what else she's been in. Let me know in the comments below. What else has Naomi Scott been in? Because, oh, actually, I know she played Jasmine in the recent live action version of Aladdin. I never saw that movie. I never had any interest, but man, she was really great in this movie. And I have to also say that I did like Smile 2 more than Smile. And it had a lot to do with Naomi Scott. She was great, a great lead in this film. But yeah, the pace was great. I have to give the pace a 10. My only problems really are with the plot and the construction of the narrative and how everything kind of ended up in the end. You kind of can give it a pass because it is a horror movie. There's less reliance on, I guess, plot construction when it's a horror movie, but it still bothered me. Let me do my calculation here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I thought it was very good. I heard from watching Chris Gore that this was better than he thought and that it was better than the first one. I didn't pay that much mind, but I have to say I really enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I would. I don't know what it's doing in the box office right now, but I hope it does well, and I hope that it does that it does well enough for a sequel because this was definitely surpassing my expectations for sure. But I have to recommend seeing Smile 2. It was very good. 9 out of 10. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. What did I miss? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Please let me know. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.